Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 260. I am Andrew Eisen, your host of the Molehill Mountain podcast. Welcome. I am a male, and all that that implies. And some of what that implies is I'm an idiot. And it's true. In many ways, I'm an idiot. Some of the ways in which I am an idiot is, while I have no problem with the concept of object permanence, I do trip up when it comes to cleaning things I don't see, or at least take for granted. For example, you should clean your bath mat regularly. You might not think to do that because, well, I'm only standing on it when I come out of the shower, and when I come out of the shower, I'm clean. So it's only clean water dripping onto the bath mat, so how could the bath mat ever get dirty? Hey, Rerum Trading. And Chicago, hello. Well, dust settles on everything, and then your drippy ass drips all over the bath mat and gets crap in the bath mat, so wash the bath mat occasionally. I was sitting on the toilet one day, just enjoying myself, and I looked at the bath mat and went, oh my god, that's disgusting, and I washed it. You should clean the inside of your microwave. Why would the inside of your microwave get dirty? Well, because your food explodes. You can put a paper towel over it. The food will explode out from under the paper towel and coat the inside of your microwave with gunk. It happens. Now, you see, my problem is the microwave sits on my counter, which for me is at waist level, so I really can't see into the microwave unless I duck down and look. So I look in and I see the turntable, and I'm going, oh, that needs a clean. I pull it out, I clean it, put it back in. But then sometimes I think, and I look in there and there's crap all over the back wall and the roof where I can't normally see. I'm like, oh, it's so disgusting, and I have to clean it. So that's what being a guy is like, or at least this guy. So today I had another one of those. Anime Momo, hello. Lindy Lee, hello. Today, I have a Wile E. Coyote hot pad. Or oven mitt, rather. It's an oven mitt that's in the shape of Wile E. Coyote. It's cute. I like it. I don't use it as an oven mitt. It's just decorative. It hangs on my wall behind the stove. If you've seen the couple videos I've done in my kitchen, you probably spotted it. I've lived here for 5 years now. A little more than that. And it's hung there the entire time. Well, I'm going to be using it as a prop in an upcoming video. So I went to grab it, and I discovered in the past 5-6 years, it has become saturated with grease. Saturated with grease. I took it over to the sink, and I literally wrung half a cup of grease out of the oven mitt. It was disgusting. It's kind of like the underside of that awning above where the fan and the light above my stovetop is. I don't see it because I'm taller than it, so I have to remember to clean underneath it, where little splatters of grease will hit the underside, so I have to wipe it down every now and then. Same thing with the not hot pad, oven mitt. So little minuscule droplets of grease have splattered on that thing over 5-6 years, which accumulated in about half a cup worth of grease. Oh, it's so disgusting. So I washed it with a lot of dish soap, and it's currently drying in my dish rack. Eee, says Lindy Lee. Yes, eee, indeed. Cafe Fox says, my oven mitt looks like a power glove. Oh, very cool. Cafe says, yeah, I haven't cleaned the inside of my microwave in a long-ass time. Yeah, I'm good about, dust the surfaces, vacuum the carpet. Not as good as, like, move the couch and vacuum under it. Can't really be bothered. Baseboards, I have to just dum-de-doo-de-doo. Oh, I need to wash the baseboards. You know, that kind of a thing. Dust, vacuum, clean kitchen, clean bathroom. That I'm fine at. But specific things like inside of the microwave, it's like out of sight, out of mind. You know, dust the inside of your cabinetry. Yeah, stuff I just don't think about. And since I'm going to be having guests in 2 weeks... Oh, by the way, Extra Life Charity Marathon, 2 weeks from today. Aha. Get your donations in, and if you donate... We're playing a drinking game, where every $100 raised, I will try a different beverage on stream during the marathon. So, donate any amount, and you can recommend something for me to drink. And here is... That's not the right one. Fudgesicles. Hang on, let me get the link. We have raised $225 so far. So what that means is I'll be trying at least 2 different drinks during the show. So remember, donate any amount, and you can recommend something for me to drink. All right. So 2 weeks from today. Starting this week, I will be posting videos promoting the Extra Life charity event. I've got 5 of them in total, so they're going to be this week, Tuesday and Thursday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week. Each video going over the various things I'm doing. So Tuesday's video is going to talk about the main game I'm playing, which is Metroid Dread and the drinking game, and it goes on from there. So look forward to that. Okay. So first topic of the night. Let's make fun of Sony. Lindy says the charity event, will daylight savings happen? I believe it does. So let me double check that. Whoops, that's not the right one. Daylight savings time. Dum-de-doo. Yeah. So it switches over early in the morning on Sunday, November 7th. So yeah. So lose an hour. Which means if we raise $500, we go an extra hour. That'll make it noon to noon the next day. So, anyway, let's make fun of Sony, because Sony has got a patent approved. Now, this is not, to be clear, this is not something Sony is doing. It's just a patent that it filed and got approved. It is called Spectators Vote to Bench Players in a Video Game. Let's just read the abstract real quick. A method for displaying a video game to spectators includes receiving votes from spectators to remove a player from a video game. The method also includes determining whether the number of votes received to remove the player from the video game meets a threshold level required to trigger removal of the player from the video game. If the number of votes received to remove the player from the video game meets the threshold level required to trigger the removal of the player from the video game, the method includes generating a command configured to cause the player to be removed from the video game. The method also can include animating the removal of the player and providing visual cues to other players or spectators as to why the player was removed from the video game. Okay, so what the hell does all that mean? So, Sony has patented a system for allowing video games which are played online, which have spectators watching, to influence kicking people out of the video game. So maybe you're spectating a Fortnite match, and you think this person is really mean and uses potty language, so we're all going to vote and kick them out. Okay. But that's not all. You can also... Let me get to the diagram here. There is a system for warning the player to improve. lest you vote to kick them out. So get good. Also, apparently, a custom message. And also, there are ways to pay Sony either a fee to boot people from the game. Again, I want to stress, Sony's not doing this right now. This is just something it patented. Maybe it patented this horrible idea just so no one could ever do it, because it's a terrible idea and it's prone to horrible abuse. Reading it, you start to get the impression it's like, okay, so this is for griefers and stuff, so that the community can rise up and protect each other and kick meanie pants people out of games. Okay. My rejoinder would be something along the lines of, Sony, stop sloughing off your responsibility on the players and the spectators. That's your job. Do your job. Don't just slough that off on everyone else. But then you get to the part where it's like, they've got some fees that you can pay to do this, and it sounds like Sony doesn't really care about protecting players or making sure there's a fun, wholesome experience for all viewers. They're just looking for another way to yank money out of people. So, this is a terrible idea, Sony. Please don't do that. That is so easy to abuse, and people will absolutely abuse that. You know how some outgroups, queer people, people of color, queer people of color, tend to get the brunt of all this garbage? Yeah. Now imagine all these assholes ganging up on them to vote them out of the games they're playing, in addition to calling them mean names in the chat. Oh, you think they won't pool their own money to get to kick people out of games who they've decided they don't like? They absolutely will. Don't do this, Sony. To be clear, Sony is not doing this at this time. It's just a patent it filed. But please don't ever do this. This is a terrible idea. Bad Sony. Bad Sony. You want to moderate stuff? Do it yourself. Do not slough moderation duties off onto your customers. Don't do that. Nothing good ever comes of it. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting patent. So, lucky me, USA and Sci-Fi, spelled Siffy for some dumb reason, appears like it appears it's going to keep airing episodes of Chucky week after week, because I got to watch episode 2 this week. I was wondering if it was just going to be the first episode and then I'd have to, I guess, pay for cable and get a cable box and all that stuff, which I don't have. So hopefully I'll be able to watch the entire series. And when I talked about Chucky episode 1 last week, one of my big observations was episode 1 develops, I think his name is Jake, our main character, while all the other characters are kind of flat, not developed. They're broad archetypes. There's the mean bully person, and then there's his cousin who is the wonder kid who does everything perfect and is kind of a jerk. And then there's the father who's just an abusive alcoholic bigot and has absolutely no more depth. He's not going to get any more depth because he died in the last episode. And I said, given more, it's important to establish the main character, and then we can flesh out the secondary characters in subsequent episodes. And that's exactly what it appears to be doing, except for the dead guy, because he's dead. So we start to learn that the school bully is the way she is because her parents suck. We find out that his cousin Jake, who's just kind of an obnoxious twit, is an obnoxious twit because his parents suck. There's another kid who's the resident Ethan or something. He's a podcaster, and he does a horror podcast. And our hero Jake has a crush on him, and his mom is the town sheriff, well, or the at least the police lead investigator is investigating the death of Jake's dad. So the woman investigating the death of his father is also the mom of his crush. So he and Ethan are talking in school, and he's like, "Yeah, my dad died when I was 9, and my mom and I just don't talk much anymore." And there's a scene with him and his mom talking, the crush, not our lead. And she's like trying her best to talk to her son, like beating around the bush by like a mile and not being particularly subtle about it. But both of them are still talking past each other. So we're starting to flesh out the other characters. I think it's pretty well done. The school bully has a much younger sister who may be a sociopath. I'm not sure what direction they're taking this character. She's apparently a very closed-off child who doesn't open up for anybody, doesn't like to be touched, kind of keeps to herself and draws stuff. But when she saw the Chucky doll, she suddenly opened up and started talking and smiling. And she and Chucky play video games in this episode, and it's pretty funny. So I'm not really sure where they're going with this character. It'll be interesting. She could be just an absolute sociopath who Chucky's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna kill your sister. Then I'm gonna kill your mom. Then we can play some video games." And she'd be like, "Okay." Yeah. I don't know if that's where it's going with this character, but we'll see. Lindy says, "Who has amazing artistic skills?" Yes, the little possible sociopath does a colored pencil drawing of Chucky from memory. You know, she was sitting in... Jake takes Chucky and fakes a ventriloquist act at a talent show. The little girl was sitting in the audience, so she only saw Chucky from afar. And she's did a real nice colored pencil sketch of Chucky from memory and seeing him far away. So, yeah, she got talent. She also might be a sociopath. There was also one of the most hilariously awkward, not exactly a sex scene, but a fooling around kids heavy petting kind of scene. Chucky's underneath the bed. The two kids are very awkwardly fumbling at each other on top of the bed. And he's under the bed, under the mattress with a knife. He's like, "Ugh," and they roll over and he misses. He's like, "Shoot." And they roll over and he misses. He's like, "Son of a gun." And he's listening to these idiots trying to be adult and failing. And he's like, "Oh my god, this is embarrassing." It's like, I've lost the mood to kill now. This is just so pathetic. So, I'm enjoying Chucky so far. Interesting, episode 2 did the full Halloween episode, which, okay. I wonder if the show will last long enough to get us to a Christmas episode. But, I'm enjoying it so far. Chucky is a gaslighting, grooming, terrible human being. He's trying to ingratiate himself with Jake. You know, because Jake is, he's the school pariah. He's, he had an abusive father. He's constantly bullied. So Chucky is capitalizing on that. And I'm not sure why, maybe just because it's fun, is trying to coax him into being a killer. I doubt Jake is going to go down that path, but he's a He's a very angry he's a very angry, hurt, and confused young man. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. Lindy says it's surprisingly quite well done. Yeah, I mentioned this last week, but the Chucky series strikes me as a lot more personal to Don Mancini, who's the guy who's been writing and directing these movies for the last 30 years. So that's coming across. Oh, and there's a really nice touch where the bully, Lexi, I think her name is, at the Halloween party, she dresses up as Jake's father, who just died and got electrocuted. So she's at the party going, ah! You know? And her boyfriend, which is Jake's cousin, is like watching mortified. And Jake's hurt. And she sees him watching, and there's a moment where where she shifts her face, and you realize she understands that she's being a horrible, horrible person, but then she just commits to the bit because of the way she's raised. It's the only way she can think of to actually get people to pay attention to her, because her parents pay attention to her younger sister and don't care about anything she accomplishes. So, parents of the world, stop sucking. Parenting's hard. That's why I don't do it. But hard is no excuse for sucking. Get good, parents. So looking forward to episode 3. Hopefully, Cafe Fox says, is the series a continuation of the movies? Yes, the movies. Lindy clarifies, not the remake. Yeah, the 2019. Yeah, that remake, reboot, that's out of continuity. Although I proposed last week that they should pull it into continuity and just have Chucky kick the shit out of the remake Chucky. I mean, it could totally be that, do that. You know, Kazlan or whatever the company was, you know, bought the Good Guy Corporation and relaunched the Good Guy doll as the Buddy. And Chucky sees this and it pisses him off. So, Chucky versus Chucky. I'd watch that. Do that before they go into space. Yeah, the remake is not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good. I appreciate a lot of what they tried to do and a lot of what they did, but doesn't really work. Yeah. There's Andy Barclay in the first movie was 6 years old. So you can understand a kid that age being excited about a giant talking doll and dragging it around everywhere. A 15-year-old like Jake in the Chucky series makes less sense, but he got the doll because he gets a lot of dolls so he can scavenge them for parts because he builds sculptures out of doll parts, which is macabre in a very cool way. I dig it. Dolls are creepy. Making big sculptures out of doll parts is even more creepy. And I really dig it. Jake's dragging Chucky around because it's revealed that Chucky's real and is threatening him pretty early on, so you get over that. In the remake, however, the kid is, like, also 15, and they do make kind of a aside about, like, aren't I a little old for this kind of a doll? And they smooth that over a bit by making the doll like an Alexa. You know, it's a smart device for your house that also walks around. But it's also... I did a review haiku for the new Child's Play movie, and I pointed out that the Chucky doll form, what it looks like, this is a product that would appeal to older kids because, they're trying to justify it appearing to, like, teenagers. Well, you've got to make it cool. You still have it in a doll form, which teenagers aren't going to want, for the most part. Also, the original Chucky doll is cute. You could see that as an actual doll that would be on store shelves that kids would like. This Chucky doll in the remake is horrifying. It's ugly. I don't buy that anyone would want this. It's not cute enough for little kids. It's too cute for older kids. It seems like way too cumbersome a device for, a smart home system automation thing. It just doesn't work in a lot of ways. I mean, they were kind of sandboxed in by, well, it's still got to be recognizably Chucky, right? And working with a 6-year-old actor is probably a pain in the ass, so let's get someone older. It's like, okay, fine, but why would an older kid be worrying about this doll? Well, his mom gave it to him, and it just doesn't really work. So, yeah. But, pit that Chucky against the other Chucky, I'd watch that. Lindy says the remake isn't that bad, but I just like the voodoo better than the faulty AI. Yeah, that really doesn't make any sense. The whole idea is a disgruntled employee in Taiwan or wherever the doll is put together takes off all of the safety checks to one doll. Apparently, there's a "don't kill people" line in the code, and he removed that and then jumps off a building. And it's so ridiculous, it's kind of funny, but it also doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. It also does the thing where Chucky's eyes glow red when he's evil. It's like, why did you build it with red LEDs in its eyes? Why does it do that? Why does it even have the ability to do that? That makes no sense. But, Lindy says Jake is 14. Oh, he's 14? Okay, so I guess he's freshman in high school. Yeah. I do appreciate that with the Child's Play remake, they did try to do something still Child's Play, still Chucky, but very different, very distinct from the original series. I don't think it quite worked, but it didn't come off as cynical as you might think, as just we have the IP, let's just make something anything. It looked like, yeah, we have the IP, let's make something, but let's try to do something unique with it. And I respect that. I don't own it on DVD, but it seemed like they were trying, so. Hey, Chaos. So, yeah, Chucky. Still enjoying it. Looking forward to episode 3. Alright, now. It is fall, which means new season of anime. So, I watched the first episode or two of several different shows this week, and I will regale you with my impressions of them now. So first on my list is... Did I spell that wrong, or is that just really odd? Not that it matters. It's just really odd. Okay, so it's not Mieruko-Chan, it's Mieruko-Chan. Mieruko-Chan. M-I-E, not M-E-I. So, which is weird because that's not her name in the show, so I don't know what that word means. But anyway, Mieruko-Chan is a show. Anime Momo says, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift? That's on the bottom of my list, but I did watch the first 2 episodes of that, so I'll get to that in a bit. But first, Mieruko-Chan. So our protagonist has a butt. You get to see it a lot because she has it. It's behind her, and the camera's like, should I focus on her fit-nap butt? So, at no point in this episode, in this series, will you ever have opportunity to wonder if her butt detached and walked away. The show will make sure that you are confident in the fact that the character's butt is intact. It's there. Right where it should be. Right between the thighs and the lower back. On the right side and everything. She got a butt. There's also actually a plot in between butt shots. And the plot is our hero, who has a butt, can also see ghosts. So it's like The Sixth Sense, only she ignores them. Because she doesn't want anything. She doesn't know why she can see them. She doesn't know what they want. And she does not want anything to do with this. And she just, a ghost gets all up in her grill and says hello. And she just pretend, just plays on her phone or just tries to stare through them. Tries to maintain a conversation with whoever she's talking with, even though an undead, really disturbingly disgusting ghost is standing right up in her face. Because she's like, if I don't acknowledge it, it's not there. And eventually the ghosts get bored and wander off. I don't know what the ultimate plot of this show is. Or if it's just going to be continual vignettes of her ignoring really gross ghosts. But the first 2 episodes managed to make each encounter distinct and entertaining, so there's that. And it has a lot of really nice, the ghost designs are really horrific and wonderful. The situations she finds herself in are both funny, skeevy a couple times, but funny and genuinely frightening, in a disturbing kind of way. And she has a butt. Can't forget the butt. The show will not let you forget the butt. You might be thinking, well, does she have boobs? She does, but her friend's boobs are bigger, so the show's more concerned with her friend's boobs. But she definitely has a butt. You see it throughout both episodes. I am confident in stating that this character has a butt. No mistake there. Absolute butt. I don't know where the show is going, but I'll tune into episode 3 because, at least for now, I could see if it doesn't actually go anywhere narrative-wise, this could just get boring. But for now, the individual situations she finds herself in are interesting. She's at a bus stop, and she texts, and it's raining, so she's hiding under the bus stop, and she texts her friend, she takes a picture of herself standing in the rain. I forgot my umbrella, FML, and she sends her picture, and then she gets the same picture texted back to her. And she's like, well, that's my picture. How? What? And then it gets texted to her again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And her phone is just scrolling as new pictures, the same picture keeps getting posted. But it's scrolling so fast that slight variations in each picture are kind of animating it and warping her face. It's actually really creepy and well done. She's brushing her teeth, and then a ghost, she sees that she's constantly seeing a handprint on the the bathroom sink mirror in front of her. And so she's brushing her teeth, and she looks up, and there's a ghost just leaning over her, and she's like, oh, hell. Just gonna keep brushing my teeth. Oh, no, lost a contact in here, and eventually the ghost goes away. She's laying in bed at night. She has her covers up here, and she sees movement along the covers, and she goes... And there's this really gross, disturbing face looking back at her. She just puts the sheets back and goes to sleep. Yeah, the first 2 episodes are fun. I could see this getting repetitive if it doesn't actually have some type of narrative, but I could also see it going down a narrative path that's just like The Sixth Sense and gets boring or something. But for right now, I'm interested to see where it goes. I really appreciate the fact that the ghosts are genuinely really disturbing, and so I like it. And she has a butt, so... Alright, next thing I watched was called Visual Prison. Why is it called Visual Prison? I don't know. I have a feeling that the writers of the show, English is probably not their first language, and Visual Prison doesn't mean what they think it does. So, Visual Prison is pretty boy vampires in boy bands. So it's kind of like, or at least I was thinking, okay, so is it going to be kind of like Zombie Saga? What the hell is that called? Shoot. Something with zombies and saga. Let me look it up real quick. Zombie Land Saga, that's what it is. And, because I love music, so this is apparently musical, so I tuned in. And in this world, vampires don't eat humans, they just eat each other, or, well, just drink the blood of each other, because the Scarlet Moon doesn't like it when they eat humans. Okay. And the Scarlet Moon, which is a moon that is scarlet, but you can only see it if you're a vampire, and our lead, who's a human, turns into a vampire because he got too near the vampires, I guess. Or I guess maybe his mom was a vampire and his dad was not, or one way or the other, so he's half vampire. And he vamps out. So now he has to join a boy band and sing to compete for the right to make a wish. Because that's how they gain power, is through music competitions. And the music competition is called... Ew, I spat on myself. Ew. It's called Visual Prison. And I started bursting out laughing because I was like, why? Why is it called that? So how's the music? The music is not bad, but it's... Zombieland Saga was very J-pop music. This is not. This is more... how to describe it? It's more alt-rock and more experimental than that. And it's good, but not exactly to my taste. But it's really interesting. So, I've watched 2 episodes now, and I have no idea what the hell is going on. It's just, you watch the show just kind of with your mouth agape, because you're just not clear what the rules of the world are, or why anyone acts the way they do. Not in a particularly off-putting way, but it is really weird. But the design is nice, the outfits are cool. The songs are, at the very least, really interesting. So, I think I'll be giving this one another episode or 2, see where it goes, see if it clicks for me. Also, almost entirely male singing voices, so that's not particularly common in anime. Usually, if there's singing in the show or opening and ending titles, usually it's going to be a female voice. There are exceptions, of course. Opening to Outlaw Star, for example, male voice. But yeah, predominantly male voices in this, so that's It's pretty cool. So, if you like sexy, pretty boy vampires singing, Visual Prison. Weird ass show so far. All right. Then I watched Muteking, or Muteking, I'm not sure, The Dancing Hero. And I watched this because reading the show description, it seemed to be a guy saves the world from, I don't know, alien invaders or something through the power of dance. I was like, cool. It's not. It sucks. I've no official MX. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello. It's bad. It is dull. It is unimaginative, and it reuses the same. So in the first episode, I love the aesthetic. The aesthetic and the design is really colorful and really unique and really cool. I'll give it that. Back to Visual Prison real quick. One interesting thing they do, which is something they did in Zombieland Saga, is they switch from 2D to 3D toon-shaded models when the characters are singing, when they're doing their whole music video shtick. They did the same thing in Zombieland Saga. I guess it's just easier to rig a character to really dance, because they're doing weird arm movements and spinning around, and that's hard to animate in 2D. So it's probably why they do that 3D. Anyway, Dancing Hero. Oh no, the people have been turned into goo, so I must save them through the power of dance, which actually means put on roller skates and roller skate down like a rainbow road and then pose like a Power Ranger. And that saves the people. It's surreal, it's colorful, the song is okay. Cool. But here's the thing. The same exact thing happens in the next episode. You know how they, in like Sailor Moon, they reuse animation for the magical girl transformation? When he turns into the Dancing King, they reuse that entire sequence. Same roller skate dude going down the rainbow trail all the way to the end to pose. Same exact song. Well, if you're just going to do that in every single episode, I don't care. So, really like the design. My profile picture is quite old. Profile picture where? Which profile picture? My YouTube one is within the last 5 years, because it's picture of me sitting on the couch. So let me know which profile pic you're talking about. On my YouTube channel icon? Yeah, that's... Yeah, it's probably... I mean, I have the couch. So, yeah, it's no more than 5 years, but it's still what I look like, so I have no... Do you think I look markedly different or need to update that? Because, I don't know, looks fine to me. That's clearly me. The behind me, those are movies. Kind of different. I mean, it's been probably 5 years, so yeah, I look a little bit different, but still sexy. Thank you. So anyway, Muteking or Muteking, the Dancing Hero. I wanted dancing, not roller skating. So skip. Next thing I watched is My Senpai is Annoying. I almost passed on this one at first, because it's slice of life, girl who's very, very short. Her senpai is a really big dude, and he's loud and obnoxious, but she's kind of got the hots for him anyway. Yeah, seen this a million times, whatever. But they're adults. They're not school kids. And I was like, "Oh, so it's her senpai in the office where she works, not her senpai in school." I was like, "Okay, an anime about actual adults, even though our lead looks like she's 10 years old because she's 4.5 feet tall." Am I talking about Muteking the Dashing Warrior? Well, the translation I have is called the Dancing Hero, but yes, that's what I was talking about. But now I'm talking about My Senpai is Annoying, which I've only seen the first episode, but it's cute. Characters are fine. It's about adults, so it's not about kids. I have a feeling it's going to be like narratively pretty obvious, but it's all about the characters and the journey rather than the destination. So I'll probably give it another episode or two and see where it goes. Next, I watched the first episode of Shadow's House, which is something someone recommended to me earlier in the year, but I couldn't watch because it just flat out wouldn't play. Funimation has a show right now. And I couldn't get the show to actually play on its video player. Well, Funimation has since updated its video player, which is good job, Funimation. This is good. Now I can actually you put the language and subtitle controls on the video player. That was a good choice. Thanks for that. But now Shadow's House actually how about Walking Dead? What about it? It's not an anime, as far as I know. I did review the first few issues of the comics when I did 30 Days of Comics. So I've read the first bits of the comics. Didn't really care for it. I've not seen any of the live action show. Which service am I streaming all these on? Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Netflix. So anyway, Shadow's House finally got to see, and well, it's kind of an anime. No, it's not at all an anime. So I'm not really a say. Yeah, I honestly don't know what you're getting at. I have no opinion on Walking Dead other than the comic. I've read the comic. I didn't care for it. Haven't seen any of the shows. Shadow's House. So, interesting premise. There's a house, and it's got shadows. And so there's a house that's full of, I guess, a bunch of aristocrats who are shadow people, meaning their skin and hair is solid black. And, like, they don't reflect light at all. They're just black holes of people. They have no defining features either. They're literally shadows. They have no... You can't, like, see their mouth moving unless you get them in profile. Right? So, makes it very difficult when you can't discern features on someone's face. So each of them has what's called a living doll, which I'm not sure if it's a robot or a clone or kidnapped, brainwashed children, because I've only seen the first episode. But each one of them has a living doll, which appears to be modeled after them, because they all have exactly the same body type as who they serve. So maybe they are built to those specifications, or maybe they've cloned them, or who knows. So the first episode, at least, is our new living doll is serving our shadow, who leaves soot everywhere, because that's what they do. So they need living dolls, one, to be their face when they talk to other people, and two, to just clean up after them, because they just leave soot everywhere. So, interesting setup. I don't like it, because I don't like the characters. Granted, this is only based on the first episode, but our living doll is one of those anime character tropes that I utterly hate. She is incredibly upbeat and chipper and boisterous and loud and enthusiastic, but also incredibly clumsy and completely dense and can't klutzy, can't get anything, can't do anything right. I hate that character. Like the kind of character who doubles, falls to the ground, doubled over in pain. It's like, what's wrong with you? I'm so hungry. Did you eat anything? No, I forgot. Runs around naked. Where's your clothes? Oh, I used them to clean something and they're dirty. What? So, certainly a really interesting setup, though. Unlike anything else I've seen. But man, I just can't stand the lead character. And the shadow that she's serving is like hanging out with me when I'm not trying to be interesting. She has almost no personality. She's not interesting. Maybe the show goes somewhere interesting, but I'm just not interested enough to check out episode 2. So that's a shame. Still appreciate the recommendation, though. Next, I watched the first episode of Komi Can't Communicate, which is a show about Komi who can't communicate. Viper says, I would say I'm shocked that you don't like happy, upbeat kids, but yeah, shocked. I am shocked. Shocked, I say. So this is a show about Komi who suffers from extreme social anxiety to the point where she literally can't speak to anybody. Our main character, the not Komi, the guy, he has a flower in his hair for some reason. I mean, hey, you like wearing a flower in your hair? Wear a flower in your hair. But it keeps changing location. Sometimes it's on the left side, sometimes it's on the right side. Sometimes it's towards the front, sometimes it's towards the back. Make up your mind where the goddamn flower is, show you. I don't know why that stuck out to me so much, but it drove me nuts. So he makes friends with Komi by talking to her by writing on the chalkboard, because she's okay communicating in written notes, but she can't really speak because social anxiety. So he's going to make a mission to help her make lots of friends. Okay. Will I watch episode 2? Sure. It's cute. We'll see where it goes. If episode 2 doesn't... Episode 1 it's cute, but I wouldn't go any further than that. Are the characters interesting? They're nice, but not particularly interesting. But the school is apparently filled with interesting characters, is what the teaser is. Little did he know that this school is full of a lot of weird people. Okay. I'll give you another episode and we'll meet some weird people and see if the show's interesting enough to stick with. Interestingly, this one's on Netflix. Netflix didn't dump the entire thing at once. I guess they're doing one episode per week or something, which is kind of rare for Netflix. Netflix is wont to drop the whole shebang at once. So next, I yawn. There we go. Next, I watched Ranking of Kings, which is a show about kings who are ranked. So we have a king who's a young boy who is deaf and mute, who makes friends with a goo monster who threatens him with a knife and says, give me all your clothes. So he strips down, gives him the clothes. And then he comes back the next day with even more clothes. And the goo monster says, well, this kid's weird. So he follows him into the castle and just kind of observes the kid. And everyone kind of treats him poorly and is very dismissive because he's deaf and mute. They're very belittling and dismissive of him. He'll never amount to anything, even though he's the first prince in line, just because he's deaf and mute. But it turns out he's actually a very talented young man, and he proves it by dueling with one of his, I guess, brothers, and beats him in a mock sword fight. So I'll be checking out episode 2 of this. It's got an interesting art style in the sense that Escaflowne had an interesting art style. You thought they were bold with some of the design decisions in Escaflowne? Check out Ranking of Kings. Some bold design. Not off-putting, to me at least, but bold. I don't know anyone in my life who's hard of hearing. But I have heard how many hard of hearing people vocalize. And I get the sense that the actor they hired to voice our protagonist in Ranking of Kings is not hard of hearing. I hope I'm wrong about that. I'm reminded of a show called Girl Power, I think it's called, where one of the characters is deaf and signs throughout the show. From what I understand, the actor that they hired for her vocalizations was also deaf, which was great because you get an authentic performance. When I checked the dub, and the American actor they hired to dub her, I don't know why. It's like dubbing a dog. Well, that's a shitty way to compare things. I apologize for that. But why would we dub that? It's just the vocalizations are not actual words. They're just vocalizations. So just keep them. It's the same thing, dogs make vocalizations, not words. Same thing with cats. There's no need to dub a dog's barking into English or a cat's meowing into English. It's still a bark, it's still a meow. That's weird. But the American actor was not hard of hearing. He's not deaf. And it was pretty clear in the performance. She tried. I saw a behind the scenes interview, and she really did try, but almost sounds like it sounds like someone, being an ass and making fun of how deaf people sometimes sound. So. Also, what's interesting is the sign language. I didn't recognize. They actually show some sign language in the Ranking of Kings. I didn't recognize any of it. I don't know if they're taking shortcuts, or I don't know if that's just not ASL. I'm not. I can fingerspell, and that's about it. But I didn't recognize any of the hand signs, so I'm wondering if that's just not ASL, or if they're just, skimping on it because it doesn't matter that much. Don't know. But interesting show. I'll check out episode 2. And the last thing I watched was How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift? Which is a awkward translation, but whatever. So this show is about gals who hit the gym and lift weights. I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I just, earlier this year, I think, within the last year, I watched a show about rock climbing. So that was cool. This one has no story so far. It really, I would expect to see like a lot of product placement in this because it really feels like it was commissioned by a company that owns a gym franchise or sells protein drinks or something like that, because it's more edutainment than actual narrative. So we have a gal who is 36% body fat or something like that. It's like, I would like to be less than that, so she joins a gym. The show is mostly good advice, good attitude towards fitness. There's only one thing towards the beginning that rubbed me the wrong way, where the girl's like, oh, you need to lose weight or boys won't like you. It's like, oh, go flush that garbage. But other than that, they're really, like, she eats a lot, and no one looks down on her for that, because eating a lot in and of itself is not a problem so long as you are working out to compensate for it. For example, if you work out a lot, you need to eat a lot. If you're blowing through 4,000 calories in the gym because you're just working out that much, you need to be eating more than that. Unless you're, trying to lose, then you can go less, but you get my point. And the show recognizes that. And for a moment I thought it was, you eat 6 times a day? I'm like, oh dear, here it comes. That's amazing. I'm like, oh, how about that? Well done, show. The show, like, each episode shows off 2 different workouts. Like, the first episode, I think, is bench press and squats. And they take time out to really demonstrate proper form. And I had almost no quibbles with any of the information that this show was communicating. I had a few, a little bit more context here would be nice, but yeah, that's correct. That's good information. So I'm happy with all of that. The only thing I really don't like about the show is all of the girls have exactly the same body type. Even though one's supposed to be a much lower body fat percentage than the other, one's supposed to be super into working out. It's like, oh, check my triceps. And no, they have exactly the same body type. Show different body types, especially since they're supposed to have different body types. I think it's a matter of the show doesn't want to draw women any other way. Like, it just wants to draw that body type, and that, with the, big busts, sticks for arms, curvy hips, and that's it, I know it can draw different body types because they show them in some of the secondary characters. They go to the pool at one point, and they're like, well, look at the legs on that woman. She's probably like a bicyclist. And they see a woman sitting there and she, has, beefy quads. They look at another woman. Oh, she probably does like competitive rowing or something. Look at her back and shoulders. So I know they can draw different shaped women. They just choose not to with the main cast. And that's very disappointing. Stop drawing every damn character exactly the same, anime. I know it's easier to draw everyone with exactly the same body and just, differentiate with the hair color and the style, but especially in this show, I feel that it hurts the show when all of your characters have exactly the same body type when they're not supposed to. You have one character who's a competitive boxer and is like 12% body fat. You have the main character who's 35% body fat. And then you have another character who works out at the gym all the time. And they have exactly the same body. None of them have any musculature in their arms. None whatsoever. It's just bone wrapped in skin. I'm not saying they need to be super bulky in the arms or anything, but if you work out frequently and lift weights, even come here. Even fairly lightweight, if you're doing, a bunch of side raises and curls and, triceps and shoulder raises and, arm rotation-y thingies and, upward rows and stuff, you're going to have your arm is not going to be a stick. You're going to have definition in your arm. Even when you're a pretty anime girl. So, draw it like that. Show. I know you can, because I've seen some of the background characters. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Do it anyway, because it serves your show. I honestly feel it's a detriment to the show that our main cast have exactly the same body type. It bugs me. So, Cafe says, you should make a video where you show off your anime collection. I'm curious to see what you have back on that wall. Well, you can see some... Well, I don't know how well you can make out some of it, but, okay. I'm looking behind me and trying to see what I think that is Devil Lady? You know what that is? I think so. You remember the show Devil Man? This is Devil Lady, which, frankly, I think is a much better show. What else do I have? Oh, that's easy. That's Kimagure Orange Road. It's a pretty good show. It's a slice of life. You know, it's kids, of course, dealing with high school, and one of them has psychic powers. Let's see, what else do we got here? That of course, is Escaflowne right there. That's the TV show. That's the movie. That is My Hime, which is meh. What's that one? Oh, that's Gantz. That's Dirty Pair, the original TV series, which I've always been a big fan of. So yeah, okay, maybe I'll think about showing off some of the shows I have. Occasionally, I do on various debut reviews. Like, I remember I did a debut review for the new Battle Athletes a couple months ago, and I ended up pulling all my copies of the original shows, Victory and the first one, off my shelf and showed those off. So occasionally I do, but okay, I'll consider that. It's not going to be for a while. I'm currently working on the Extra Life charity promo vids. Doing 5 of them, shot 4 of them today, have 2 of them edited. They're going to start airing next week. Didn't get the 5th one done because I needed the oven mitt. Also, I need a bag of marshmallows for a prop, and I didn't want to go to the store just to buy a bag of marshmallows. So I'll film that one next week, because that one doesn't air until the Friday before the marathon anyway. So lots of anime, lots of interesting stuff. So lots of things to keep me entertained. So I hope you enjoyed me blathering about the cartoons that I watched this week. That's it for tonight. Thanks very much for stopping by. Stop by tomorrow for the Sunday stream. We're going back to Trails in the Sky, and we are going to do the Hot Springs episode, because I realized that Elmo Hot Springs is down south and we haven't visited yet. I was going to run back to... We were investigating the earthquake, and the game's saying go back to Zeiss and report your findings to the guild. I think we'll drop by the Hot Springs first to, see what's happening down there. No more Luigi's Mansion 3? Nope. That was just last Sunday. I have continued playing that in my own time, though. Quite enjoying it. I like how varied all of the floors of the hotel are. It really should be called Luigi's Hotel, but then it probably brings up some unpleasant memories of Hotel Mario, so they didn't want to do that. But next weekend, which is, I almost said Valentine's Day, no, Halloween, Sunday the 31st, we're going to be playing Resident Evil 3, the new one, the remake. So you have that to look forward to. So, Trails in the Sky tomorrow, Resident Evil 3 next Sunday, and then the weekend following that is the Extra Life charity event, so I'm not going to start the Sunday stream right after I finish the 24-hour marathon. So no Sunday stream, but there will be streaming on Sunday, if that makes sense. So, thanks everyone for stopping by. Hope to see you tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time for the Sunday stream. And until then, have a nice night. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.